Hello. I really wish I gotta have a sign. Last time I did this, what did I do? I held this out. I had my book. Oh, I gotta flip my thing. No. Oh yeah, that's flip pan. No, not flip camera. Mirror my video. There we go. That's better. Yeah, like, I don't know. I really gotta sit more in my corner. I gotta keep, oh no, what did I just do? Oish. Effects, none. Oh gosh. Yeah. Welcome to going live. Yeah. I need to sit back more. You know, the problem is my office is tiny, tiny, tiny. And I can't get the banner thing to work without this huge ripple thing on my head. And I don't like it. So I want to talk sweepstakes, but I don't know. What do you want to learn? Like, that's the big thing, right? Like, I get there's new people. And then there's the seasoned sweepers. So the new people, they need to learn how to, first of all, find. So I teach people to find, organize, enter, and win, right? So if you want to find a sweepstakes, I always recommend an aggregate. Also, if you have any questions, post them in the comments and I'll answer the specific questions. I need just to kind of like hang this out here, maybe. Can I do that? I need I need a banner. I wedge that there. There you go. How to win cash, card strips, and more. That's a good idea. Just wedge it in there. There's my little banner. Can this work for people in the UK? Absolutely. There's actually a woman. Her name she's known as Super Lucky Di. Her website is superlucky.me. She is my UK counterpart. So, this is a hobby actually for people all over the world. I think the country with the most contesters is India, believe it or not. Just like Bollywood cranks out more movies than Hollywood, they have more sweepstakers than anybody else in the world. So you're going to want to go find Di. Her name is Di Coke, and she's brilliant. She has a newsletter. Actually, she is one of my bucket list items. I want to head over to the UK and go hang out with her. And hopefully in the future, if they have another giveaway or event, like a convention, like a workshop. They had one in 2019, but I was super busy, or even 2018. I couldn't afford to go. Between time and money, it just wasn't going to work. And then the pandemic happened, so of course that all got canceled. So I've promised her the next one she holds, I'm speaking, and I'm coming there, and I'm giving away prizes, and we're hanging out. And she's like, absolutely. So that's what's really fun about this hobby, is not only all the prizes that I've won, but I get to hang out with people I never would have met in any other capacity. So it's really, really cool. So now it is a little different in the UK because every country has their own competition laws or sweepstakes laws or contest laws or whatever. It's the same word. The hobby's basically the same all over the world. The key components to the hobby don't change globally. Like, you should always read the sweepstakes rules. That's my number one tip. Always read the rules. So that doesn't change. You know, set up an email address just for entering sweepstakes. That doesn't change. You know, use an aggregate to find sweepstakes that you're eligible to enter. That doesn't change. The resource itself will change. So for example, in the UK, you're going to want to use the prize finder. There's probably another one that it's kind of rumbling around my head, but I can't think of it right now. But if you go to her website, she can point you to the aggregates that you should use. And she also has a Facebook group. And yeah, she's a lot of fun. So, so the key components of the hobby don't change. The resources you will use will change. Like and some won't. Like my favorite resource for entering sweepstakes is RoboForm. Anybody in the world can use that to help them organize sweepstakes. So if you have any sweepstakes or contest or giveaway questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them. So that's why it's important to understand the hobby from a base, because that base is global. And then you break it down to what works in your area, right? You don't want to disqualify yourself. And I actually have a playlist called Silly Sweepstakes Mistakes because for some reason, even though I'm a seasoned sweeper, as we call it, I still do it. How much time do you dedicate to the hobby? The average sweepstaker will spend 1 hour to 2 hours a day entering. A bigger key than the amount of time is what you're entering, the odds. Let me know where you're located. I love that handle, Bountiful Blessings 4440. I love that. Because if you're in the United States, I recommend following Tom Cavalli of I Win Contests. He actually has an odds. Oh, New York. Ooh, our sweepstakes convention this year, is not far from you. It's in Manchester, New Hampshire this year. You can actually drive it. It's in July. Tickets are still available. Yep. Oh, Virginia. Okay, so definitely I Win Contests. If you go to my website and click on resources and find sweepstakes, you'll find Tom's website there. He does a lot of Facebook. I'm trying to get him onto other platforms. I keep trying to get him to do TikTok. He does a little bit, but he's not to where he should be as a teacher for that. He's a master at Facebook Lives. So if you're on Facebook, for all of my American friends, he is my American counterpart. He actually learned from me. He bought this book in 2008. You can't win if you don't enter. He learned from me, and he actually wins more than me because I'm in Canada, and the U.S. has a larger pool of sweepstakes to enter. And so he wins more than me. Also, so he gets in his 1 to 2 hours every day to sweepstakes. I am not. I'm getting maybe 15 minutes. I've run 2 businesses. I'm trying to expand my marketing. I'm working on 3 books. Like, my plate is super full. I just came back from Texas, getting all of Helene Hadsel's things. That was an adventure. I was entering like 2 sweepstakes a day because there was a couple that I was like, oh, I really want to win one. But it was really hard when I was traveling. Even though, have laptop will travel. And technically I can work from anywhere. But I was driving so much. If I did it again, if I need to go back or do something like that again, I won't do it. Because I was like 3 days down, 3 days there, 3 days back. No. That'll be like a 3-week trip. It'll be like a week down and a week there and a week back. Because that was too much. Too much driving. I didn't get to see anything. I didn't get to enjoy all the places I passed on the way. And, I would like to, because I did a book tour in 2008, and it took me a month, and I did it all the way to Florida and all the way back. I passed through 17 states. I held 12 workshops. So if I did it again, I would love to do it where I can get to a city and I can host a workshop and people can come hang out and learn. it's just fun. It's a really fun hobby. The nice thing about social media is, look here, I'm sitting in my home office on TikTok, doot doot, and anybody from anywhere in the world can ask me questions about winning sweepstakes. And the key components of the hobby are the same all over the world. I mean, it's really kind of cool, right? So yeah. Oh, thanks. They are, oh my God, that's way funny. These are Dresden Vision. So I have progressives because I'm of that age. These are my computer glasses. So these are computer and then reading. And then these ones are distance and reading. Now, you'll notice that they have Dresden Vision's out of Australia. They have affordable frames. They're recycled plastic. They are light as air. I have 6 colors. All the arms and the pins and the frames come apart. And I just pop my lenses in and out. And I can change my frames up in 1 minute. I actually have a video very long time ago. But they just got here on TikTok because they tagged my video. They're like, oh, we know you love. So, yeah. So I have, these ones are, oh, no wonder you guys are blurry. Those are my distance. They're green. These are brown. I have clear, blue, pink, and is that something on my lens? Oh, no, that's a pink, blue, green, brown, clear, and purple. And you can just flip them in and out. So it's really cool. Check them out. I love them. They're my favorites. And I just change on a whim. Like, oh, I'm not feeling it. So actually, if you watch all my videos, if you go back, you'll see one day I'm wearing green, one day I'm wearing pink, one day I'm wearing purple, one day I'm clear. And it's the exact same frames. Just pop the lenses in and out. And if you want another color, they're only like $40. They're so cheap. And they've been through, and they're plastic, and they just go, and they're lifetime guaranteed. Like if one of the arms snapped or something, I'd just go in and they'd give me a new arm. So, and they all pop off. So if I feel like having clear glasses with brown arms, I can swap. It's fun. Anyway, back to sweepstakes instead of my sassy vision. That's actually a misnomer. Like I won this radio like 2 decades ago. And it's still going because it's what I used to listen to all my radio giveaways. But, it's a misnomer that people like gender sweepstakes win everything in their whole life. And it's like, no, it just enhances your lifestyle. It doesn't replace anything. It only enhances your lifestyle. So for example, if I win a trip, so if you go back a little bit, I won a trip in February. You'll see I did a video on it. And I won the trip, but we're going to have to get ourselves to the airport. Tips aren't included. Souvenirs aren't included. Excursions aren't included. All that stuff. So it's a cheap trip, not a free trip. That's what I tell people when they win something, or even if I win concert tickets. You think, oh, free night out. No, because you're going to go downtown early. Might have dinner or drinks, and you go to the show and you're going to have another drink there, and you might buy a concert shirt, and you have to pay for parking, and you might have to pay for the sitter. And, so oh, I love that compliment. Thank you, Gibbonson. Oh, I really need I wish I could make that font bigger so I could read it easier. Thank you for the compliment. So I want people to realize that when you win things, it's supposed to enhance your lifestyle. So there's 3 types of prizes that you can win. The first one being things that replace your budget. So for example, you're going to buy groceries, you win a grocery gift card. That money that you would spend on groceries, you can now use elsewhere. Gas cards, Visa gift cards, gift baskets of products, all your shampoos and stuff. So you'd go and buy makeup or shampoos, for example. You win a big beauty basket. That stuff that you would go and spend money on is now free. So that money you can allocate elsewhere. So that's one way sweepstakes can help save. The second way sweepstakes can help you save money is by enhancing. So if you have a travel budget and you win a trip, now your travel budget is expanded. If you like to go out on date nights, but you win concert tickets, now it's cheaper because now you're only paying for dinner instead of that and the show, right? So it helps. So it's enhancing your lifestyle. It's not replacing it. And then the third thing that you can win. Oh, and then there's things that you can't afford. Like if you wanted a new fridge, you can win a new fridge, or you can win a new car. So in the past, you might have always bought a used car or bought secondhand appliances or things like that. So now you can get things that just aren't in your budget. And then, sorry, technically there's 4, my mistake. 4 is things that money can't buy. Like I met Sting. Where would I meet Sting in my everyday life? I have a picture of me and Michael Bublé. Oh my God, what a cutie patootie. My ex got to be a judge in the Miss Hawaiian Tropics bikini contest. Where's he ever going to do that in real life? Never. Everyday life doesn't have him as a bikini model judge. Right? So you get to do things. Tonight I have to, after this live stream, I'm going to work for a client because I monitor his live stream. His name's Robert Ohado. He's teaching a class. And then if it's not too late and it's still decent out, I might go soak in the hot tub that I won last year. So that was never in a budget, but oh my God, is it nice to go out and soak in the hot tub. So if you have any specific sweepstakes questions, ask them below and I will answer them. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk sweepstakes in general. So yeah, it's really handy and plus I love the fun of it, right? Like I don't know when I'm going to get a call or when I'm going to win, or sometimes it's small prizes. Like this morning, I got up early and I entered the Starbucks has got their contest on now, and I won a $5 Starbucks gift card. Free coffee on Starbucks. It's not huge, but $5 is $5. And I actually plan to go have coffee tomorrow with a girlfriend. So guess what? Coffee's on me. Right? So it's just the fun little things like that also help. I had actually, I was just doing that today. I have a spreadsheet about all the things that I've ever won. And I haven't been filling it in lately. For a couple of years, I didn't fill it at all. I'm like, oh, come on, I got to do it this year. So now I'm kind of going back and I'm like, oh yeah, I won this, I won that. Like when Tim Hortons had their roll up to win, I won 7 coffees. So I'm going and putting them all in because it's $2 and $2 and $2. Like I count everything from a coffee I won to the trip I won. Trip I won was like $6,200 value. Coffees are $2. All on the spreadsheet. Everything counts. A win is a win. Big or little, a win is a win. So that's what I count. And I just, like I said, I love it when prizes just enhance my life. Like I'm so excited. We're working on booking the trip with the travel agent now that we won, and we're going to go to Mexico. And unfortunately, with the lockdowns and the pandemic and the way that some of the hotels are now doing it, I was really limited in the hotels the resorts I could pick because everybody's changed the rules. So I didn't want to go back, but we're going back to a resort we've been to in the past because I always like to try something new. I'm like, there's a great big world out there. So everything we had picked was not going to work. So we're going back to where I've been. Of all silly things. But it's fun and it's free. And we're taking my sister and her husband. So the 4 of us are going to go away on a free vacation. Right? Like, you can't beat that. That's what I love about this hobby. You don't know what you're going to win. And you know, one thing I do love, I have to say, like even this sweater, this shirt that I'm winning, I won a bunch of NHL gift cards. And this was, you know, I think it was like $100, but not to me, because I think it was regular like 100 and something. Then they had it on sale, and then I had a gift card. So it just showed up, and I love it. It zips up. It's cute. It's got the little thumb thingies. And it's light. It's like a thin one. It's like slightly thicker than a t-shirt, but not by much. So I win all kinds of stuff. And then I have friends. Like, look what I got in the mail today from a sweepstakes friend. I did a picture, but I didn't do a video. How cute are these socks? Good vibes. Oh my God. And then included in the pack is a thing that says so many good things to come. I'm totally wearing these maybe tomorrow. Actually, maybe Sunday. As I'm going. They're little, I don't know if you can see that, they're little money bags. How freaking cute. How freaking cute are those? I mean, I love them. So, yeah, it's really fun. So that's from a sweepstakes friend. She just said, I found these, I had to send them to you. Love them. So that's another nice thing about the hobby is you make so many friends that people I've met that I never would have met otherwise if I didn't start entering sweepstakes as a hobby. Like the best hobby ever. I just love it. So if you have any sweepstakes questions, post it in the comments below. Otherwise, I will just talk sweepstakes. So I started entering sweepstakes 21 years ago. So last summer was I called it my 20th sweepstakes winiversary. And for 21 days, or for 20 days rather, well, it was 21 because I had 20 days of giveaways and then I had a grand prize day. And I gave away prizes for 3 weeks. And it was crazy. I could barely keep up with it. It was kind of fun though. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I remember that I started sweeping on August 11th, 2001. So from August 11, 2021 till the end of the month, I gave away prizes. It was fun. I gave away some of my books. I gave away swag. I called all my sweeping buddies, like my Tom Cavalli if I Win contests, and Rachel Travis, who owns Sweepstakes Masterclass, and you know, Sweepstakes Advantage was on vacation, and I didn't contact them till it was too late because I was so behind. I couldn't keep up with everything. But like, I had so many sponsors, like companies were giving away stuff. It was so fun. Sweepstakes Atlas, I think, gave away some. Oh, I just bought your book. Oh, so fun. Which one? This one? That's the newest one. I'm working on another one that I'm way behind on. So I was supposed to work on it today. I opened the spreadsheet and that's as far as I got. I use a spreadsheet because this book is just... Do I have another one handy that I can show you guys? Yes, I do. So it's just... It's solid resources. Nope, the other one. Oh, okay, so this one. And then I also have this one. So this was my first book. Yeah, so this is my first book. And this is my second book. This is first edition, second edition. And this one is Helene's Hatzel's book. And this is her third edition. Because she had... Where'd it go? This was her first edition. And then this was her... Where is her second edition? Oh, here it is. Her second edition. And then it went out of print. And then she had asked me... If you follow all my videos, you'll see... I did a whole story about her. And this. So this one is a mindset book. This is going to teach you how you have to think like a winner. Yeah. So this is important because you actually need this before this. And I'll tell you why. Because you have to think like a winner and believe you're a winner before you are. And so many people do stuff. You'll see she even has this, Helene even has a story in here about a woman who, because when you win a lot of stuff, everyone's like, oh, what's your secret? What do you do? Of course, right? So they all like, oh, teach me how to win. So she was teaching this neighbor how to win, just like I do. Of course, her version back in her day. And in her time, it was like 90% mail in. Then there was some in-person ones. And then there was like radio, right? That's all they had. Social media is my bailiwick. So this woman goes to the post office with her, and she literally takes the envelopes, like all of her sweepstakes entries, throws them in the mailbox and goes, there goes nothing. And Helene's jaw dropped. She's like, yeah, this woman's never going to win. Because she didn't believe she could win. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel, so Helene and I differ on this, and I agree with her, but I prefer my approach for me. So this is how you have to approach the hobby. She won every contest she ever entered because she took a laser-focused approach. She would pick one prize, accumulate all her energy, and focus it on the one prize. And then she would kind of do what she learned from Jose Silva and Neville Goddard and just live in the end result. Okay? I enter a lot of stuff, and she says I'm splitting my energy. It's not good. That's why I don't win like she did. But I don't just like entering one thing. For me, part of the hobby is finding different giveaways, entering them, being excited, wondering if I'm going to win. So I'm just not really, I just don't really like her approach for me. So I prefer to split my energy and take a chance and not know what's going to come in because I like the whole Christmas aspect to it. So she is right. One of the reasons she won so much was she was able to laser focus her energy to win very specific sweepstakes, but I prefer shotgunning it. But I'm also aware of that. I know I'm splitting my energy and I'm okay with it. So you have to keep that in mind too. But yeah, this is a really good one. Now, she does give some sweepstakes tips in her books, but they're a little bit out of date because she was doing it back when there was really only mail-in. But her tip about reading the rules is still valid. And how to label, there are so there's a lot of purchase-based sweepstakes. By law, they always have to have a no purchase entry option. So her advice on how to enter the mail-in portions, which would apply to today's no purchase entry options, because there's very few mail-in sweepstakes left, would completely apply. Then, depending on when you're ready, you can buy the Kindle version of my how-to book for 99 cents, because that was my first one, because it's I don't want to say it's out of date. This one doesn't have any social media in it. But the core principles are identical. And I'm making it 70% different. My new book, Prizes Everywhere, is going to come out this year. And I just need to kind of hustle on that. Because it's already the middle of May and I haven't written a lick. That's not true, but it just feels that way. The progress has been very slow because I ended up publishing this book first. Her third book, Helene Hadsel's third book. And I still have her fourth book to do. And then when I went to Texas, I believe I found enough material to maybe in 2023 come out with a works, kind of something like Helene's Musings or the unpublished works of Helene Hadsel or something like that. But I'll have to, it's going to be a lot of assembly and stuff. That might take me like the whole year. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So if you have any specific sweepstakes questions, ask them in the comments. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking sweepstakes. So yeah, so Helene's advice is really good. And I'm glad you got her book first because it's going to help you get your mindset first. And believe it or not, that's 90% of the hobby. Because if you don't have that mindset before you start entering, you're never going to win. But everybody that I know, everybody, and I mean everybody who takes this hobby seriously and focuses their mind, wins. Everybody. But you have to be serious about the hobby. You can't just say, well, I'm going to enter 3 and we'll see what happens. I mean, you could win. It is possible. But it's not always possible. I call it January at the gym. Like everybody at the beginning of the year is like, yeah, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get fit. They go to a gym for a month and they're like, oh my God, this is hard work. I have to do it every day. I don't want to eat vegetables. You know, so it's the same thing. Like the people that really want to win sweepstakes and they focus and they enter and they do the steps they need to do every day, they're the ones that win. The people that just enter 1 here and 2 there and 3 there, yeah, you could win. Because for someone right now who's super busy, I'm focusing on best odds sweepstakes. I win a fair bit because I'm very selective on what I'm entering. But if you spend that time every day entering, just like you would say, go to the gym or do food prep or whatever to maintain health, those are the people that see the results. You will also see the results in the sweepstakes. And that is in the form of prizes. Gotta love that, right? So if you have any sweepstakes questions, post it in the comments below and then I'll answer them. Otherwise, I gotta figure out how to do the banner thing. Last time I just held up my book like a weenie. Right? But yeah, it's fun. I love entering sweepstakes as a hobby. So I use a site and they get an email every day with all the new listings. But I also belong to a Facebook group and I see what they're posting in there. So I just found another one that I'm entering today. So that's pretty good. Yeah, some of them are hard. But yeah, you never know what you're going to win, right? It's fun. And I love swag. Like, oh my God, I love winning swag. I think it's one of my favorite things, especially when it's clever swag. You know, branded items. Like that hot tub that I won last year was from Canada Dry. And there's Canada Dry logos around the whole thing. I freaking love it. Like people walk in our backyard and it's like a Canada Dry hot tub. And actually it was really funny. It's a soft tub and they gave away 4 of them last year. They don't have them this year. And there was a soft tub contest. So I had to enter it. But I'm like, dang, they ain't going to give it to me. Sure enough, I was right. So I post it. And they're like, oh my God, you were one of our winners from last year. Or from the, well, let's see. Yeah, it was, when did I enter the contest? Yeah, like right, maybe a month after we had won it. So they're like, how do you like the hot tub? I'm like, we love it. But yeah, of course I didn't win their swag. I wanted to give it to someone that spent the money. So yeah, I kind of knew I wasn't going to win it, but it was still fun to share. The hot tub win. So that was my biggest instant win. That's the biggest prize I've won instantly like that. That was a $5,000 hot tub. So that's pretty cool. Still waiting on the car. Or cash, bigger cash. And then the biggest prizes we've won were from drawings. Were I'd say the Winter Olympics trip that my ex won us. Well, I entered, so I consider it my win because I did all the entering. But his name was picked. That's another tip. You know, if you have a spouse that you can enter them. Like, for example, my boyfriend's fly fishing, gone on a fishing trip. And then when he gets back, we have tickets to go see whose line is it anyway. But it's in his name. So they're at the box office. So we'll see what happens there. We'll go and we'll hang out and we'll have a nice night out. But, you know, I just tell him because I do the entering. And I'm like, oh, by the way, you won tickets. And he's like, oh, thanks. And then we go out on a date night. But the biggest prize I won from pin codes was a trip for 4 to Universal Studios. That was an instant. That was just entering the codes, and then they drew from all the entries, and I won one of the trips. One of the other good ones I won the same year. No, it was the year after. Yeah, because I won the trip in 2018, so I won the big prize pack in 2019. Not super great in 2020. And then 2021, I won the hot tub. That was the big one. And then this year, well, I don't know. Pin code hunting season just started. And I've already won a trip. So we'll see what, we'll see what else the year brings. So yeah, that was how those went. But yeah, if you're considering, but you see, like I'm saying, like these are over the years, but things like the hot tub, we're going to enjoy that prize for many years. The trips are memories that last a lifetime. You know, so it's fantastic. It's why I really like this hobby. Then we've won prizes that we can't, you know, money can't buy. I love all those ones. So if you have any specific sweepstakes questions, but I really recommend, like, my tips, like if you go back and you watch some of my videos, read the rules, #1 tip. I have a whole playlist on silly sweepstakes mistakes that I make because I'm tired, I'm not paying attention, I fub something up, I miss a date, I forget about something, and that's when I make the mistakes. If I'm present and paying attention and going slow, yeah, that's the other thing. You're better off going slower and taking your time and not disqualifying yourself than trying to rush in as many entries as you can in a short amount of time. Because if you disqualify yourself, that was just a waste of your time and the sponsor's time. So you're better off just going slow, taking your time and entering. Question, I entered a car giveaway at the exhibition. They told me I couldn't crumple my ballot. Yeah, that's fine. If nobody's crumpling, then your odds are even. Yeah, I assumed exhibition because that's very Canada. And also, the way they use those, the reason they didn't want you to crumple it, it depends on the car giveaway. They didn't want you to crumple it because they're probably using all the data on those forms for marketing purposes. And if you crumple it, they can't read it. But depending on what those are, you probably don't want to read them. Sean SVV, who I love here on TikTok, did a whole thing on terms and conditions on those like giveaways you see at the mall, which may have been similar to what you saw at the exhibition, which is like the state fair. Go back and find his video, or did I duet it? I think I duetted it a long time ago. So if you go like through my feed, that's a good one. I should almost find his video again and reduet it. You know what? That's a good idea. Let me just make a note of that because I'll forget otherwise. That's a good idea. Reduet Sean's video because all my new people haven't seen it. because it's very important to understand terms and conditions. So this is one reason why people think sweepstakes are a scam. They'll see one of those mall giveaways. They'll enter it. It basically says, hey, we can sell your data. And the odds of winning are like 1 in a billion. Like, I'm not kidding. Actually, you should go see my video on the odds of winning. Actually, I have a whole blog post on it. It might be easier to find. On the odds of winning the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. They are dismal. The odds of winning the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes are terrible. You might as well buy the Powerball lottery ticket. You have a better chance to win the Powerball. It's really bad. So then people start getting all kinds of flooding of spam email because they entered to win whatever and didn't realize all their data was sold. But if you're entering legitimate sweepstakes like the kind I promote, I get less spam than my boyfriend. He signed up for this stock trading thing one time, and I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. His email is now just full of crap. I'm like, they sold your data. I'm positive, because I didn't read the terms and conditions, but I just kind of knew. My intuition told me. And sure enough, he's got so much spam. I hardly get any spam on my sweepstakes entry email. I get more on my work email. And everyone's like, oh, I don't like entry sweepstakes because it's all spammy. Not if you're doing it right. If you're entering legitimate sweepstakes, those people aren't selling your data because they've spent too much money on the promotion to sell your data. You know, Kraft Foods is not selling your email. You know, Procter & Gamble is not selling your email. You know, Budweiser is not selling your email. They work too hard for your data. They are not selling it. Right? So sweepstakes, legitimate sweepstakes are not scams. Companies spend literally billions of dollars running promotions in the United States every year. Billions. Now, that's not all prizes. That's creation, content, design, execution, fulfillment, etc. And the prizes are in there. Still a heck of a lot of prizes to be won. There's enough prizes for everybody. And I don't even know how accurate that is, considering so many much smaller companies can now run their own sweepstakes and give things away. Like, I give away books all the time. They're probably not counted in that. So anyway, yeah, if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'll continue to talk sweepstakes. But yeah, terms and conditions are very important. Again, that's why my number one tip is always read the rules. Because if you don't read the rules, how do you know? Are you even eligible to enter? When does it start? When does it finish? How often can you enter? Okay, those are the main points that you're looking for. Are you eligible to enter? When does it start? When does it finish? How often do you need to enter? Oh, and then any extra entry parameters. So for example, it's open to the residents of the United States. Now, if you live in Alaska, it might say the continental or the contingent 48 states, because they don't want to ship a fridge to Alaska or Hawaii. You'll notice some rules cut out the 2 states, because if it's a big prize, they don't want to ship it across the ocean or across, like it has to literally go over Canada to get to Alaska. So they don't want to ship, say, a huge prize like a car or a fridge. If it's a gift card, they might not care. So it depends on what's happening. Okay? So you have to read the rules. So find out, or then what if it's only open to the residents of New York State or Wisconsin and you're in Ohio? Well, you can't enter that one. You're not eligible. So find out, what are the eligibility requirements. Then, and that also includes usually age of majority. Now, there's some sweepstakes that will be from 16 on, some from 13 on with parental consent. I've seen ones open just for kids from 6 to 17 when they had a lot of kids contests with the cereal companies. I haven't seen it in a while, but I've not been looking because my daughter's now 20, so I don't look for the kids' contests anymore. So are you eligible? The next thing you want to look for is when does it start, when does it finish? Sometimes the sponsor will put up a sweepstakes page in advance of the contest starting. And that makes me crazy. Or worse, they don't take it down when it finishes. It's not set to close. Now, this was really bad when I first started entering sweepstakes. Now, of course, since the internet's been around for like forever now and companies are on it, it doesn't happen as often, but I've still seen it happen. I found one the other day that was still open after a year. Nobody took the page down. So you have to really watch the sweepstakes. So when does it start? When does it finish? Now that is important to, one, see if you can still enter or when are you going to enter. Then you have to see how often you can enter. Is it 1 entry per person, 1 entry per household, 1 entry per person per day? You know, find out. Now, if it's daily and it's open for, say, from now until the end of June, you want to bookmark it and go back every day and enter every day until the end of June to maximize your entries. But that's what I teach in this book. I teach you the organization system in this book. Same with actually the first book too. With some minor updates in the edition. But if you just want to grab this one, the ebook for 99 cents. Now I charge the absolute minimum Amazon would let me if you want the paperback, because there's hard printing costs associated with it. And I basically made it as low as they will physically allow me to go. But, you know, if you're going to get one, just get the second edition. And if you want the paperback, because it's easier. But one of the reasons I'm doing it is, you know, like I have screenshots. Well, that's all updated, you know, things like that. But the format itself, like how to use your internet browser to enter, that kind of stuff, that hasn't changed. I'm just going to be updating it in the new book with some of the new features. But here, you know, how to use a form filler to enter. This is mine favorite, how to use RoboForm pass cards. That's I can't survive without RoboForm. I've been using it since I'm coming up almost on my 20th anniversary of RoboForm. You know, and what we're seeing a lot now is here on, for example, on TikTok is consumer generated media. Hey, create a video and post it on TikTok and enter the sweepstakes. Guess what? That's what they call in marketing CGM. So actually here, how about I read you a few tips? These are from Walt Arnett, who I love, and he wins a lot of video contests. So he gave us his top five tips on how to win video contests. He said, 1, show the brand in the best possible light. What does the brand advertise its best features and benefits are? Ensure you use those in your creation. These are kind of generic, so you may or may not have to show the brand in your product. 2, make them laugh. The reason companies host a contest is it's a fun way, engaging way to promote the brand. Therefore, build fun, excitement, jokes, chuckles, and laughs into your submission while at the same time promoting the brand. 3, follow the rules. This is where following the rules is especially important. Number 1 tip. I should almost move that up for him. Rules for creative contests are more in depth and have clauses specifically for the entries, right? So I gave the 3 that you have to have, but you got to go down further in the rules. Read what the requirements are. Be sure you follow the technical, creative, and judging aspects. If you break any clause, your entry will be disqualified. 4, use kids and or dogs. People love chubby, messy cheeks, squeaky voices, wagging tails, and furry faces. Kids and animals are also unpredictable, adding to the authenticity of your entry. It's why cat videos go viral on the internet. 5, take your time. Ad agencies do not create a marketing campaign overnight. You shouldn't rush your entry. Think about the sponsor and create an entry they would if they were using it to advertise their brand. So that's from Walt, and that's included. I'm actually going to probably keep it for the next one, because guess what? Really good tips don't die. So here's another section I'll just read out to you guys. Good wrap up for the end of the video. Here's how you can enter increase your chances. I know all these off by heart, but it's more fun to read my own stuff. There are many things you can do to increase your chance of winning. The first being enter as often as you can. I just said that, right? Read the rules, again, to determine your entry parameters, once per household, one time per person, daily, weekly, etc. The entry rules will determine how you proceed. This is especially important if the sweepstakes is labeled per person, because then you can increase your odds by entering your family and friends. So I enter myself, and then I enter George. Occasionally, I'll enter my daughter. Entering as often as you can goes hand in hand with entering over the entire sweepstakes entry period, if you can get in. It's especially important to stagger your entries over the entire entry period when entry via regular mail, because it may be financially prohibitive to mail in entries every day. Now, there's barely any entries, but here's a tip that I used to do. I don't do it anymore because I forget to go back. If an entry period is open, say, for a month, I'll enter it right when I find it, and then halfway through the entry period, if it was like one entry per person, I would go back and enter George halfway through. And that way, I have 2 entries somewhere in the entry pool to increase our odds of winning. Because when I do draws, I never see 2 of the entries side by side. They're always spread out in the database. However, I'm so busy now, instead of missing out on that chance, what I do is I will go and enter me, and then I will go and enter him right after. Hang on, we're going to turn on the computer because I have a live stream I have to manage in 8 minutes. So entering over entire sweepstakes period. Oh yeah, okay, so so now this is where I told you guys to go look at Tom Cavalli, right? Oh, people are now going to think this is a sports one. There's my book over my head. That's better. Yeah, all that stuff I won. I thought it'd be fun to have a sports office, and then it turned out to be terrible for filming, so I need a house with a library, and that's what I need. So I could just sit there and work. So many of these TikTokers have these beautiful backgrounds. I'm like, oh, I'm jelly. One day I will have, I just don't know when. So look for sweepstakes with short entry periods. Sweepstakes that are only open to accepting entries for a 2-week period will garner far fewer entries than one that's open for several months. So it's not rocket science, right? Increase your odds of winning. Again, go follow Tom Cavalli if I win contests for that. Promotions with okay, so I say any hurdles or barriers to entry are going to increase your odds of winning. So promotions with entry limitations attract fewer entrants. I've seen sweepstakes limit entries to a city, a zip code, a state, and even a specific age range. Again, that's why making videos, say for TikTok, entries are good, because the majority of people aren't going to bother. Another barrier to entry is your advantage. Look for sweepstakes that offer many prizes. Oh, I do this all the time. As opposed to with one prize. On average, they attract fewer entrants, so the odds of winning a prize are higher. Also, some of the best prizes we have were secondary prizes. Hey, even if you don't win the car, a new digital camera is always nice. And some sweepstakes take time to enter. Any sweepstakes with qualifiers, mail-in, essay, video, photo, caption will draw fewer entries, therefore increase your odds of winning. And what are you entering? Entering single entry sweepstakes first, and then those with a higher dollar prize value, and then instants, and then dailies. Don't waste your time trolling Facebook the timeline contest, or Twitter for a retweet contest. Those you do from your mobile phone while you're waiting in line. Now, this is the number one mistake I see people making. Be organized. It saves time, and therefore you can maximize the number of contests you can enter in a short period of time. That's why I recommend using RoboForm and tracking your daily, weekly, and monthly contests. And are you spending enough time entering? If you enter 30 minutes per day, and I spend 4 hours, my odds of winning are going to be far greater than yours. I recommend entering 1 or 2 hours per day. It's enough to win well, but not so much that you cut into your work, family time, and any other obligations. Winning should always remain a hobby and not reduce the quality of your life. And I think that's a good note to finish on, so I can go get ready for my other crown. of managing Robert O'Hara's classes. So if you have any questions, you can always email me at questions@contestqueen.com. I do sweepstakes Q&As here all the time. I've been doing them for years on YouTube and Facebook, so you can go check those out because I have heaps of back videos. And of course, you know, I pretty much answer every question there is in this book, How to Win Cash Cars, Trips, and More. Everything's Amazon, Kindle, Kobo, Apple Books, and Google Books. So let me know what you want to win. Oh, also, if you leave a question on a regular video, I'll answer it in another video. Because if you go through my feed, you'll see I answer people's questions all the time. So just let me know, and I will talk to you later. I'll be back next week because I do these all the time. Good luck.